Good morning, Discover Your Path You. This is Andrea Hendron, Chief Spiritual Officer, which I have great joy in being, and hope all your lives are doing well, and if not, persevere, all right? So today's chat, if you will, I love chatting. I was thinking about this morning of something along the lines of what I talked about yesterday about of things falling apart and also at the same time us becoming more aware. And the metaphor of the butterfly comes to mind, of the caterpillar, the chrysalis, and things dissolving and then coming out the butterfly. And it's like we use that metaphor, but it's like there's another aspect of it. The butterfly eventually dies and we start all over again. How many times in a lifetime do we get to be the caterpillar, get to be the chrysalis, get to be the butterfly? I've been thinking in my own life, it's like, my God, there are different aspects of my being that are in different places at different times. There are parts of me that are definitely the butterfly, and there are parts of me that, yep, they're in the caterpillar stage. And I think there's just an evolution. I know I was in a group of A Course in Miracles, and we were talking about the expansion and the contraction in our lives. And I personally have had many experiences of expansion, which have been delightful and bring me great awareness and understanding. And then there's the contraction afterwards. It's like you go back a little bit, but you never go back all the way. I will say that. And then there's another level of expansion that might even be more. And it's just in a process. I think we use the word undulating, of going out and coming back in, and going out and coming back in. And yeah, I find that very interesting. And I don't know if you have that in your lives. I'm sure you do. We're a lot similar in that respect, but each of us is so individual. I used to think we all had the same patterns, there's a lot of sameness. And truthfully, if we are same in spirit, but our life experience is so vastly different that being of presence, being with another, is simply a listening and asking and curiosity. What is their experience? There are some basic things that, we can teach that might be helpful. And I say might. It doesn't matter what tradition or tools you're trying to teach. They might be helpful depending on where that person is. But the listening and the curiosity is key. It's key for me. I know when I've been presented with that curiosity and even this silence, this quiet, I'm presenting it right now, right? And this silence can unnerve people. It can make some people talk really fast and a lot. Or it can give both of us the chance to reach a higher level of awareness. And I'll refer back to the Course in Miracles again. We had the opportunity the other day to go into that silence where it's perfectly all right for us to be together in silence, to see what arises. There's no need to rush or push, just to be present. And it's so calming. And I reflect on a period of time in my life, many years of it actually, where I drove to see a spiritual teacher. And the drive was a minimum of an hour, and I'd leave the typical hustle and bustle of raising my children and getting on the road and getting going. And then, like, taking a breath. It was like I knew where I was headed. I knew I was going to a place where there would be this silence. And I could feel like time would slip into a different framework. I would go into a place where it was timeless, where I could be just present to the other cars driving along, seeing the birds, seeing the wind, seeing whatever the weather was, And it was so calming. But then there's that process again where I gave myself that sense of expansion. And I would expand even farther when I'd go to this teacher's house. He was a Zen master, had a tea house, and it was really rather cool. And we'd have tea together and sit in silence a lot, and he would teach or not. And then coming back home, and I dive right into the chaos, and it was like, I got to go, oh my God, and but yet each time I don't think I could. I learned over time I couldn't contract as much as I used to. I had to shift, and those people I lived with had to shift a bit or go into more chaos, because sometimes that's what happens. So that is where that's at today. Just talking about the expansion and the contraction and the flow of life, and that we go through these phases and continue to go through the phases. And you know what? It's all good. Whether you're in a state of expansion or you're in a state of contraction, it's all good. Each one of us has a path, and we might think we're off of it. We might think we're apart or separate from it. We're not. We're not. We're not. So be here now, friends, and I hope you have a blessed day. I just want to remind you on this level to, if you're so inclined, to look at our DipU platform and see what classes we have available. I have one, as well as there's more coming each day. So please join us. There's a lot of good things out there. See what your heart and soul is inclined to look at and follow it. All right. Have a good day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.